Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Payton, I got to tell you, I'm with you. Okay, I mean, I really am. I mean, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your position. It's something. This issue is very near and dear to me. I've got a number of ports in my district. The Port of Orleans is actually in, but I got a lot of smaller ports. But I got a question. If Congress injected $500 million into the Corps' budget to address port needs, now I know they need more than that, but just, do you have any idea how many jobs we could create with $500 million?
Well, let me tell you this. On the 62 projects that are sitting there, it represents about a little short of $7 billion. That $7 billion has been equated out to 100,000 construction jobs.
Okay. All right.
That's the only number I have to go off of.
Okay. Ms. Darcy, any question, any idea how many jobs, if we just gave you $500 million, how many jobs directly you could, not only in construction, but either jobs saved or additional jobs created by improving our ports, $500 million?
Sorry. The figure that we usually use for construction jobs is $1 billion of construction funding would create 30,000 jobs. So
wow.
500 would be 50, I would
30,000. Okay. Well, Mr. Payton, you realize we spent $500 million on Solyndra to create 1,200 jobs that are now gone. Do you understand how backwards this government is? How they don't know how to prioritize? How we chase utopian green energy jobs at a time when 8 of our 10 largest ports are under draft restrictions? I mean, think about that amount of money. 100,000 here, 30,000 there, 1,200 jobs in Solyndra. I just wanted to set the table so that you understand that this fight is not only at this table in this committee. It's within this entire administration. Now, Assistant Secretary Darcy, do you believe our nation's energy security should be a priority?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, the Corps ties its funding for ports based upon tonnage transported to and from ports versus the importance of the commodity being transported. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. In my district, ports like Iberia and Fouchon are vital to the energy security of our nation. In fact, 30% of the oil and gas consumed in this country flows through the port of Fouchon, and yet it receives only $1.5 million for its dredging needs, which is it's barely enough to keep the maintenance of the port operable. This is not to deepen the channel. This is not to improve the channel. This is simply a maintenance. Don't you think that somewhere in the equation we should be looking not only in strictly a tonnage formula, but in the commodity that's transported back and forth, or the security needs of the country?
Congressman, that's I think you raise a good point, but as you outlined, that we do currently just base it on the tonnage. Perhaps we need to take a look at the value, or especially in light of energy security, and looking at how we prioritize.
I would. Well, great. That's a great answer, and I would encourage you to do so, because it's not only small ports like myself, like these ports in the district that I represent, but there are a number of small ports out there as well that just a little bit more of investment in infrastructure could mean a lot more to those ports in the way of creating jobs and allowing the towns and cities around them to flourish. And so I just think that sometimes we should keep an eye on not only a tonnage formula, but exactly strategically where we want to be in this country.